Welcome back, and hopefully you listened to part one of the two-part series. We're talking about the mind and body. In part two, we're going to break down the mind, and I'll get into really what does the mind mean. But in the first part, we talked about the body and how there's all these different systems communicating anything physical. 135 different specialties, and we can understand that, wow, there's a lot going on inside the body. But we can also think about the mind, and when you think about the mind, I don't think we always connect it to the body. And so my goal in part two here is really to connect the dots, to think about the mind and body connection, and also to realize some of the mind issues we're having, especially in our society. Anxiety's off the charts, depression, mental health issues in general, happiness, fatigue, everything going around in the mind is many times we don't do enough with the body to fix the mind. In many cases, we don't fix the mind to fix the body, but we got to understand there's a connection here. And so in part two, we're going to really break down the mind. Now, just a disclaimer, I'm not going to go super deep into the mind. I'm going to use brain and mind interchangeably, but understand the brain is the hardware. The mind is the software. So they are not the same. They're different. Brain is physical. Brain is part of the physical body. Mind is an energy field that uses the brain to make consciousness. And so they are different. For the sake of this simple video today, I want us to use brain and mind interchangeably. Brain's an instrument, and this is, to me, our most important instrument. When you think about the mind, the most valuable skill that we have is not, our problem solving. It's not our creativity. It's not fixing the things that our most valuable skill is our attention. When you think about the mind, it's this attention that we're really struggling with. Can we stay focused? Can we bring that attention to the thing that really is in front of us, that present mind, that consciousness? And so the mind and the brain, I'm going to use them again as one thing, but when we think about anxiety or depression or this disease of worry that we're facing in our society, again, we're not connecting the whole mind and body. So in past, you've heard me talk about, eating for better mental health. This is one of the points I want to really bring up to start today, is our gut, or what's called the enteric nervous system, part of the autonomic nervous system, is this mesh-like part of our digestion, our gastrointestinal tract, that has these neurons that signal to the brain. So our second brain is actually our gut. Anything from the mouth out the body through the anus is part of the gut. And there's a very complicated neural pathway that's in this digestive tract that can communicate to the mind. And that's why it's called a nervous system, an enteric nervous system. And this is one of the fundamental challenges that we're seeing in society, in our clients, in people we talk to, is poor gut health, poor digestion, which leads to poor mental health, poor mind, poor brain function. So if I have bad digestion, let's just say I have acid reflux, maybe I'm constipated, maybe I have diarrhea, maybe I feel bloated, maybe I'm intolerant to some nutrients, that's going to send a signal to the brain, and that brain is going to try to respond in a different way. And so we've all heard, I get butterflies in my stomach when I'm nervous. Well, the same thing exists. If I am constipated, I'm probably going to get more anxious because it's the connection. It's the connection between the mind and the body that is so wonderful, but it's happening as really a survival mechanism. If I'm having a stomach issue, it makes sense that I'm going to put a stress response because I think something's going on, and it's going to put that body into a certain position. And so when we think about part two here, the mind is so important. Is the mind or the body, which one's the more priority? In my opinion, you can't isolate either one. I want my body and I want my mind. But I think we have to think about this partnership a lot better, and we have to treat this partnership with a lot more energy. Because when I see people, and I actually, real life today, I got 2 emails that someone was asking me about their anxiety. The first thing I try to do is I try to go into the physical body. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a psychiatrist. Obviously, there's a lot of baggage we all have mentally. But when we think about what can we do right away, it's what we can do physically. For example, if you're sitting in front of me and you're anxious or you're feeling depressed, one of the best things we can do is move the body. So if I got you right now and you were anxious and stressed and I got you up and moving physically, for most of us, it would change that stress response very fast. And that's the connection between the mind and body, is they work together. And so physically, some of the things that we do can really improve the mental aspect of our life. And so when we think about anxiety specifically, one of the things that we have to understand is we got to get our gut health under control. Because if not, it doesn't matter, what we're thinking, the positive psychology, breath awareness, all those things are important. But if our gut isn't healthy, we're not going to have that good neurotransmitter production, serotonin production, that makes it a lot more efficient to be our happiest and healthiest. And so part 1, we talked about the body, the physical body. Part 2, we're talking about the mind. But the genesis of this 2-part series is to really realize, yes, they're different, but they work together. And I have this amazing book I got when I was in college, and it was part of kind of understanding the physical body. But in the book, it says the human body systems work together in true cooperation. Each one fulfills its own vital function. That's key. It has its own vital function, but all work together to maintain health and efficiency. We have to start playing together. We have to start thinking of them as one, understanding the mind and body connection. If I can tell anybody, maybe their mental health isn't where they want it to be, I would definitely look at what you can do physically. Are you exercising? Are you moving your body? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating the right foods? Are you having good digestion? All of these things will lead to better mental health. And the same thing works with physical health. Are you keeping the mind right? Are you being present? Are you working on your diaphragmatic breathing? Are you doing breath awareness? Are you meditating? All of these things can play a role in how you're performing physically. And again, the point of this was not to go too deep in any of these subjects, but understand the mind and the body are connected, and your mind and body are always talking to you. The key is, are you listening? Look forward to seeing you soon. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, need anything, you can reach out to us. We'll talk to you soon.